welcome to the NDTV Auto Show. I'm your host Buddh Mishra and we have got a very exciting show planned for you today. We will give you the first impressions of enthusiast favorite Skoda Octavia RS. But we start the show with Kia Sonnet's competitor but also its sister, Hyundai Venue. Hyundai has launched the facelift of the new Venue.
One of the most popular and liked subcompact SUVs in the Indian market has gone a comprehensive revision. This, boys and girls, is the new Venue. What has changed? Let's find out in this video. Before we dig deeper, let's look at the pricing once. It starts under 8 lakh rupees, 7.9 to be precise for the 1.2 litre naturally aspirated variant. It goes all the way to 15.5 lakhs. You have turbo petrol, diesel and also the N-line you see over there. The designers had a clean cut for the Venue. It looks more like the Creta now. The face of it, it's more upright. There is a LED bar that runs all across. There is a bit of bling as it drops down, this boomerang shape with vertically stacked headlamp cluster. Looks really nice at night. The face of it is also changed. It's quite slap on and also reminds me of the Creta. Have the N-line and the regular one side by side, and you can see this has got 3 layers in the front grille. This gets 2 with the N-line badging. Also the bottom half, the skid plate design is also slightly different, the N-line being a little more aggressive. But onto the sides, it's more reminiscent of Creta, and I'll tell you why. The C-pillar treatment is what that reminds me of Creta the most. It rides on 17-inch wheels, different treatment for the N-line, different for the regular. There is a lot of cuts and creases, very Korean design appeal, especially on the lower half. These character lines really protrude out of the body. Again, there is a significant revision on the side panel and I quite like it. As always, there are a few new color options to choose from. 2 of them are placed here. One is more in a grey shade with a black roof. This is a Mystic Sapphire, what brand loves to call it. Again, the rear treatment has also been changed significantly with this lettering of Venue running all across the tailgate, and this light setup with this fiber on top of it reminds me of the Alcazar. Very upright, Hyundai logo, turbo badging, all of that has been slapped on the rear. And the boot space, well, that stands shade under 400 liters. As you can see, 3 full-size bags have been placed with a couple of small duffels. The lower half has also been reworked. The N-line gets a twin-tip exhaust, which kind of accentuates the overall aggressive quotient of it. And also the light setup is slightly different in the N-line compared to the regular Venue. Now, where the numbers matter most, this car has grown in size, and that's significant. It's taller than before, it's wider than before. Not much could have been done with the length. It's a sub 4 meter car, but then the wheelbase has been reworked. It's 20 millimeters more than before, which effectively means you should get more space inside the cabin. Let's hop inside. The cabin is fresh, feature loaded, and I don't really complain with my stature. I'm 5'7". I get enough headroom, legroom, and even thigh support. Well, it's adequate. Again, Hyundai has been very smart. They have cleverly scooped out the front passenger seats, making a little bit of extra room so that I can have my legs much forward, and this will be more effective for people taller than 6 feet high. Couple of adjustable headrests. These seats, they recline. They have 2-step adjustment for the recline. There is a armrest with couple of cup holders, dedicated AC vents, couple of USB charging point. But then what I like here is the tonality of the cabin. The fabric used, the leatherette material, now it's finished in 2-tone material. There's ivory on the recline and the seat is finished in this dark shade, which kind of gives me a good feeling about the cabin. You need not compromise whether you like dark or light. They have given everything. What's also new is this privacy shield, extremely important when it's really hot or you need privacy for yourself. Then you have got Bose speakers. However, it misses out on a middle passenger headrest. Again, something Hyundai should have considered. The floorboard is slightly raised. However, it's not a deal breaker. This place matters the most, and I'm happy to report there has been significant revision from the driver's perch. This instrumentation layout, this is fresh. Almost feels like from a segment above. There are twin screens, freestanding 12.3-inch dual HD screens, and they have been revised quite a bit. The dashboard layout is also fresh. Venue lettering stands on top of it. The top of the dash is slightly coarse, could have been a little more soft touch. But in terms of features, there is no complaint whatsoever. The front seats are electrically adjustable and also come with ventilation. There is wireless charging pad. The central console has been heavily reworked. There is electronic parking brake, 360-degree camera function, and also for the sensors and the drive mode and traction. But this place has been completely redesigned and it feels good. The steering wheel is all new, much like the Creta. It's a D-cut finish with these coded letters on top. Paddle shifters with the turbo and N-line variant. Also, there is this new AC panel altogether, feels like lifted from the Creta. But overall, this place feels premium. The AC vents have been redesigned. It's a combination of vertical on the sides and horizontal elements in the middle. Overall, the aperture is good from the driver's seat. The screens are slightly tilted towards the driver. So hence, I feel it's very much focused in case you want to drive the Venue or the N-Line. And the N-Line is slightly different in design. Also in the interior, it gets all black cabin. The seats are finished in black material. The roof lining is also black, and there is a host of N-Line badging all throughout. The steering wheel is also slightly different with the traction control and drive modes given on top of it. The engine options remain same as before. You have 3 to choose from. The entry-level variants get a 1.2-litre naturally aspirated petrol engine making 83 horsepower. The option is with a 5-speed manual gearbox. Then there is a 1-litre more powerful turbo petrol engine, a 3-cylinder unit that makes 120 horsepower, has the option of a 7-speed DCT or a 6-speed manual. There is also the 1.5-litre diesel, which makes 116 horsepower. And what's new here is a torque converter along with a 6-speed manual as option. The brand confirms there are changes under the skin of this car, but there ends the similarities with the older Venue. The platform is a fresh unit. It is the same K1 platform, the global platform that Hyundai and Kia uses in multiple cars across markets. Fresh one out of the same platform is the Syros that was launched earlier this year. There's more than 70% high-strength steel used, which kind of reaffirms the crash-worthiness of Venue, and it's expected to get better than before. What's also fresh here is the Level 2 ADAS, which brings in a suite of safety features which always has eyes open and makes your life much easier when you're traveling on the highways. Now there are 6 airbags, stability control and hill start assist that come as standard with Venue from the entry-level variant. And as you pay higher in top-of-the-line variants, you also have the likes of Level 2 ADAS and 360-degree camera that makes life much more easier and smoother. So that was a quick story on the new Venue, which now feels more like a Creta Lite. The review drops next week on 11th of November on our YouTube channel. If you find our content interesting, I hope you like this video.
Thanks for tuning into NDTV Auto, and this implies that you love cars. And if you do so and have ₹500 crore in your bank account to spend on a set of 4 wheels, I think this is what you need. Now this is the all new Skoda Octavia VRS in its 4th gen iteration. In fact, this is the only car in Skoda India's lineup that gets a Mamba green paint scheme. Now what all is special about it? Actually, there's a lot. I'll start off with the design first. So over to the front, you get a lot of piano black elements on the grille, on the lip spoiler, and also on these air inlets. Now these LED DRLs, they are done in a very striking pattern, and so is the case with the crystal LED headlamps. So over to the sides, you also get 19-inch alloy wheels. Crazy part, because this car is about performance, they are done in a slightly different theme. Now they are very much sharp, I would say. Diamond cut finish is what you're getting over here, but these come with these aero inlets, and if you take them off, these rims look really dope. But lot more piano black elements you're getting on the ORVM cap. Now this whole window surround is also done in piano black. Now all this with all other 5 paint schemes you're getting on the Octavia VRS, they make it look really neat, really sporty. Over to the rear section, Skoda has made sure that it certainly looks sportier than its last generation model. How? Well, thanks to this large lip spoiler and also this new all black rear diffuser, which also get dual tip exhaust. Now you must be thinking that this exhaust is done in a slightly squared off shape, but no, these are the dummy tips. The real exhaust is beneath them, and the sport exhaust package comes as standard on this car. And on the inside, this is actually very sporty in comparison to the standard Octavia. How? Let me explain. On the dashboard, you get Alcantara finish with contrast red stitching. The complete interior is done in a shade of black, and you have this 4 carbon fiber treatment over here. This large 13-inch touchscreen is what you get, and it is paired to a Canton sound system, which sounds impressive for sure. And you have a 10.25-inch virtual cockpit. Now this one also gets red accents for the more sportier appeal, and the steering wheel is done in leather. So it is perforated so that it doesn't get sweaty when you're driving in hot and humid conditions of India, and also gets contrast red stitching with this VRS badge. Now this is the sportier steering in the Skoda's lineup, and so is the case with these seats. Headrest is integrated in the seats, and you have this quilted pattern. So all of this makes the car really sporty, and also when we'll be driving on the BIC, I mean the track, I believe these will give me good support in terms of lateral movements, and also while we're going fast on corners. Talking of other features, you do not get a sunroof over here, because what you're getting instead is a set of 10 airbags, 360-degree parking camera, and a couple of drive modes. Along with that, you also get powered seats and automatic LED headlights, rain sensing wipers, this auto dimming IRVM, and lot more features. Since this car is designed keeping in mind the performance, I think sunroof is something you can let go of. Talking of space, there's a lot of it on the front row, and similar is the case with the second row as well. So on the rear seat, I tell you, this seat is set to somebody who's 5'10", while I'm 5 feet 6 inches, so there's enough amount of headroom for me. I think somebody taller than me might scrub their head with the liner. In terms of leg room and knee room, there's not much I can complain about, because I have ample amount of it for me. Now one big question over here is, can it seat 3? And the answer is no. You do have a dedicated third headrest and also 3-point seat belt for the middle row occupant. Now there's a cubby hole that intrudes into the middle row occupant's legroom space, but Skoda has taken care of climate control, because it gets a 3-zone climate control unit, so rear occupants, they can have their own temperature and fan settings. And Skoda, being clever, they also have these nice phone pockets over here. You get 2 Type-C ports and a lot of other stuff to keep your knickknacks and bottles and things. Now I have to say one thing, that in comparison to its key rival, that being Volkswagen Golf GTI, considering that Golf GTI is a smaller car, I think this one, for the price it comes at, has more practicality and more space, therefore turning out to be a more versatile option. In fact, the boot on this one is really large in comparison to the Golf GTI. But how good is this one in terms of driving? Let's get on to that. So the helmet is strapped, and I am inside the 4th generation of Skoda Octavia VRS. Now this car has a strong legacy, and that's why we are driving it here at the Buddh International Circuit, the home ground for Formula 1 in the Indian country, and only to find out if the VRS has progressed just like how the motorsport community in the India has, or not. So the Octavia VRS, it manages to retain its legacy, its charm, and the strong cult that it enjoys among enthusiasts. Now this one does come with more tech in comparison to the last generation. इस बार आपको एक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक लिमिटेड स्लिप डिफरेंशियल मिल जाता है. एडाप्टिव सस्पेंशन जो इंटरनेशनल स्पेक मॉडल्स में देखने को मिलता था, वो यहाँ नहीं दिया गया है. बट आई डोंट थिंक इट नीड्स ऑल ऑफ दैट in the market like us. If it would have been here, it would have been the icing on the cake. More tech, more performance oriented stuff is never a deal breaker, I would say. But overall chassis dynamics, they are really great. The car is forgiving in nature. I have tried to be as noob as I can be with this one, and it has managed to forgive me all of my mistakes. And a big credit also goes to that ELSD, which is sitting at the front axle. After having driven almost all sorts of cars at the BIC, I mean the all-wheel drives, even the rear wheel drive ones. This one particularly is a front wheel drive car with almost 260 horses and 370 Newton meters at the tap. Quite fun, I would say. The chassis is really great, and so is the response from the steering. We have seen a lot of torque steers in the earlier Octavias, I mean the VRS especially, but this one is well calibrated, and even on the 19-inch rims when we ran out of the tarmac to the curbs, it was, I would say, quite stable. So for Indian road conditions, I think this can be your single garage car. Just summing it up, I think the Octavia VRS makes more sense than any of its key rivals. Now, why I have to say this? We have the Golf GTI, which was priced slightly higher than the Octavia VRS, which could be because of the older GST rules. But this one at just rupees 50 lakh is more car than Golf GTI. Not surely in terms of performance, because both of them are similar, but in terms of overall practicality and in terms of overall space it offers. The tech, of course, I found this one to be really more engaging, and also because of its sheer size, it has the road presence of a performance saloon. Now, should you compare it with the likes of the BMW's M340i? Ideally, you should not, because that's a different car altogether. Now, this one will go against the likes of 2 Series Grand Coupe and also the Mercedes A-Class Saloon. But does it manage to win over those cars? And my answer is yes, because this has the kind of luxury that you want at that price, along with performance and exclusivity factor. Because only 100 units of these cars are coming to India. All of them are sold out. Mr. Ashish Gupta, brand director, has said there could be more units, but still there remains an uncertainty. And on that note, make sure you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and like this video if you like the Skoda Octavia VRS, and share it with your friends who are in the subject of great cars. On that note,
the world of two-wheelers is brimming with action because EICMA 2025 has just concluded. While there's a lot to talk about, our focus will be towards the Indian manufacturers and what's coming our way. To start things off, let's look at what Royal Enfield has done at EICMA 2025. Enfield came all guns blazing, showcasing their Bullet 650, and we expect that product to be launched in India very soon. Also, we had the first glimpse of almost production-ready Flying Flea, the Scrambler electric motorcycle. Which is due for launch in 2026. It looks retro, however, full of futuristic features. With the Himalayan nameplate, there was a lot of buzz because the 450 based Mana, a stripped down version, much lighter, more competent to go off-road, was showcased at EICMA 2025 as well. There was a glimpse of the first big Himalayan, the 750. Well, it's still a work in progress, but first glimpse of how it might look like in production was also revealed at EICMA 2025. Moving on, looking at TVS, there was a lot in the pipeline and they have delivered. More than 6 products, prototypes and concepts were displayed from TVS Motor Company, which included a bigger Apache, the TVS X, their flagship electric two-wheeler, and also a few other concepts that really created the buzz. TVS, which recently acquired Norton Motorcycle, was also buzzing with action. They showcased few top-of-the-line premium products, and we expect few of them to come to India as well. Hero MotoCorp is rapidly expanding its network across Europe and global markets, and their intentions at EICMA 2025 was clear and bright. They showcased the Hung 440, which essentially is a rebadged version of Maverick 440, recently discontinued in India. Alongside that, there was the Rally edition, a more focused edition of the Xpulse 210. There was excitement at Vida stall as well, where they showcased a few electric concepts. Classic Legends also made their presence felt with a Thunderbolt under the BSA badging. This could be a re-engineered version of the Yes the Adventure that's sold in India. However, this is much lighter, much advanced than what's being sold in India. This Thunderbolt is a reimagination of the name that was there, and this motorcycle is lighter. It seems like it'll make more power, looks feature loaded, and then there is that asymmetric headlamp setup which is quite characteristic of the BSA brand. However, this will go on sale in the European market next year. We expect some version of this to come to India as well. Lastly, but quite importantly, BMW's F450 GS, which has been in the works for months now, was finally showcased in production ready avatar. And this twin cylinder motorcycle, which replaces the 310 GS, will essentially be produced and manufactured at TVS plant in Bangalore. This will be for the export market. This was showcased in 4 variants, and we expect this to go on sale in India as well by the end of 2026. This one makes more power, roughly around 48 horsepower, new engine, new chassis. There's a lot of electronics, and the face of it has resemblance with the mighty 1300 GS. So these were the top highlights from the EICMA 2025, which might just interest the Indian audience.
Well, that's all for today, but you can keep watching auto-related content on our YouTube channel NDTV Auto. All you have to do is subscribe and press that bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload our video. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platform. I will see you next week. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.